Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
From the Ramsey Network, this is the Ramsey Show. I am John Delony, joined by George Kamel, and we are taking your calls on money, and life, and work, and relationships, mental health, whatever you got going on in your life. We're here to help. 888-825-5225. The show is live. 888-825-5225. Give us a buzz. Let's go out to Washington, D.C. and talk to Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Hey, Lucy, what's up?
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Of course. What's going on?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Perfect. Hey, so me and my husband, we've been going through the baby steps now for about, 6 months. We're on baby step number 3. We're doing a really cool job. We're so excited. We're about halfway through our emergency savings and, building it up. And just today, we've learned one of our vehicles, which is a 2011 Lexus. We've had it for 6 or 7 years. It's been great. We bought it used. It's got a very expensive repair all of a sudden. And we are like, gosh, should we pay the $4,300 bill to fix it? Or is it worth it at this point to try to sell it and then go buy another, cheap car? We're just not sure where's the break point. When should you, keep repairing a used car versus switch to another used car?
Well, as a general rule, if the repair costs are more than the value of the car, you should probably replace the car. Now, that doesn't always ring true, because if the repair's $1,000, the car's worth $1,000, you might want to just do the 1,000 repairs, because it's going to be hard to find a car that you can get for $2,000. So what is this car worth right now?
Well, like I said, it's a 2011 Lexus 250 hybrid. So it's a hybrid, and I think the last time we checked, it's worth about $8,000 or $9,000.
And that's if the repair was done.
Well, yeah, if we try to sell it as is, and right before this happened, yeah, we could sell it for $8,000 to $9,000. Now that all these lights are on,
what they say is wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
Well, here's the interesting part. About 1 week ago, we replaced the brakes and the brake pads and rotors. We spent $1,000 just 1 week ago at the dealer to fix that. And less than a week later, all these lights are coming on. And so my husband said that the dealer said, hey, it's the brake rotor circuitry or something.
It's the rolling
girder.
Know. Yeah. Just make it up.
It's the blinker fluid. It's that'll get you.
Have you gotten a second opinion on this?
Not yet.
Go get a second opinion from an unbiased, non-dealer.
And don't tell them
shop.
Don't tell them anything about this first one. Just roll in and say, hey, we're getting some lights. What's this going to cost to repair?
Okay.
And if you get one or two more opinions and it's still all around $4,000, I would probably replace this. You guys have the money to do it, right?
Well, yeah, I don't have a full 3. We're trying to get up to 3 to 6 months. Right now, we're at about 1.5. Maybe
but do you have the money? Do you have $4,000?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I would probably just make the repair versus going out and buying a new car.
Really?
That's what I would do. No question about it. Yeah.
And the car has 150,000 miles on it.
It's a Lexus. It is not even halfway home, honey. It's just getting going. You don't. Here's the deal. You don't like it. It's a great car. You don't like it?
No.
Oh, you do like it?
Oh, we love the car. Yeah, but my husband is the one. He's the one that thinks, well, we should sell the car. We should have done this a year or two ago and switched it. Moved up. He likes used cars, but just not when they get really high mileage, like what y'all.
High mileage is such a relative word, depending on the make of the car and the type. And that Lexus can go 300,000 miles if you take care of it.
What about the hybrid and the battery? That's the other thing he's concerned about. He's like, hey, we're going to drop 4,000 right now, and then in another year we're going to replace a hybrid battery. And
I don't know how he has a ball that can tell you the future, but that's amazing.
Tell him to get off the news apps. He has to stop watching the news apps. Both of my cars are hybrid. Dude, it's a good car. It's a great car. If you were here, I would buy it from you at a comically discounted rate and go get it fixed and have an awesome car. It's a great vehicle.
I want to tell you, we bought it on Craigslist from private party, and it was exactly what y'all said. We bought it 6 or 7 years ago, and we've had no issues with it till now. So we're really just like,
get a few opinions, take the most reputable mechanic who's giving you the best deal, get it done, and then later on, if you just hate it, you can go sell it for $9,000 and use some more cash and upgrade.
And George, I think there's clearly something sketchy here. Like you don't have it doesn't work perfectly, and then somebody repairs something, and then everything lights up like a Christmas tree on the dashboard. Something's going on, so take it to somebody else and have them look at it. Right?
I always get 2 or 3 estimates. I have trust issues.
I don't have that kind of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll get one.
John just has a good dude in his life who will just be honest with him.
That is true. That's really important. Let's run out to Maggie in Charleston. Hey, Maggie, what's up?
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Of course. Hey, we're up against the clock, so swan dive into it. Okay. What's going on?
Yep. So my company offers a SEP IRA, and they pay an additional 15% on top of my paycheck each month. Can I count baby step number 4 as complete, or should I be putting in additional money?
You're saying they put in 15% of their own money? It's not your income?
Correct.
Okay, so we would consider this similar to a match where we need you to put in 15% of your income. And there's a few reasons for that. It's the same reason why we don't count the match. When you put in 15% of your income, you start to build this amazing savings and investing muscle. And regardless of where you go and what job is next, and if you stay and if they change the rules and what they decide to do, you know how to live on 85% of your income.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the key here. If you have too much money in retirement, please call us back and yell at us. I will be happy to take the blame for that.
I'll give you my personal address, and you can just I'll take a regular check. You can just send it.
So should I do the additional 10% into a SEP, since I can only do 25% max, or should I do 15% into a different type of IRA?
Yeah, I would do the max that you can through that because it's a tax-advantaged account, and then you could open up your own IRA outside of your retirement account through your employer and continue there.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
To finish out your 15%. Absolutely.
Hey, Maggie.
Yeah.
Are you like me? Have you already done the math on the things you'll buy since you didn't have the 15%?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so here's what's going to be frustrating. You're going to get off this call and feel like you just lost something. And I want you to feel that and then know that that's not true.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, if my boss says, hey, today you're getting a raise, it's going to be amazing. Well, in my head, it's going to be $100,000. And if he comes in at $10,000, that's an amazing raise, but I feel like he took $90,000 from me.
Right.
Right? So you've already spent that extra 15%, and you're already holding that new car or guitar, whatever it is you're going to buy. And so feel that. It's totally real, but it's not true.
And go use our investment calculator, Maggie, and go see what 30% going into that SEP IRA will do for you. You sound young. You got a lot of life ahead. I hope you call back in the Baby Steps Millionaire Theme Hour and tell us all about your story.
It's going to be amazing. Hey, Maggie, thank you for the call. 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be right back.
You've been gazelle intense, you've eaten more beans and rice than you knew existed, and now you're ready to make your biggest investment better. Blinds.com is a great way to dress up a room or your entire home. Whether you're comfortable with do-it-yourself projects or you don't even know what a Phillips head screwdriver is, well, trust Blinds.com to take care of you like Ramsey would. You can do the measuring and installation yourself, or you can let Blinds.com's professionals handle everything for you. Blinds.com offers a completely hassle-free experience. Count on them to deliver stylish window treatments from premium brands without the premium markup. You'll never have to deal with pushy salespeople in your home just to get a quote. But you can count on free shipping, free samples, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee so that you can rest easy. That's why we've recommended Blinds.com for over 10 years. Shop Blinds.com right now and get up to 50% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
This is the Ramsey Show, and it's a Memorial Day $10 flash sale. Not flash like some of our colleagues do around the office, but flash sale. I shouldn't have done that, James. Sorry. I can always see when James, the producer, just puts his head down and is like, what am I doing with my life?
HR just called you to the office,
I
John.
know. This weekend only, get our lowest prices of the year on our best-selling products that have helped millions of people. You can get bestsellers like Baby Steps Millionaires, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, Know Yourself, Know Your Money, From Paycheck to Purpose, $10. $10. Shop the Memorial Day $10 flash sale at RamseySolutions.com/store. This sale ends Monday, May 27th at 11:59 p.m. Let's go out to Holy Toledo, Ohio, and talk to Grace. Hey, Grace, what's up?
Hey, Dr. John, how are you?
Partying, dude. What are you up to?
I'm just sitting here. So I called in. I have a special needs sibling, and our parents sort of set up like kind of like their future a little bit, like my sibling's future, but they haven't really done anything as far as like getting them the help that they need or securing like a future for them.
So what have they done? I'm confused.
They so one of our parents, like our father, has like no life insurance. He doesn't have. I think he has like $50,000 in retirement. He keeps talking about buying a house. He's in his 70s, like 5 hours away, and it's.
So he's broke and has no way to help set up his child.
Right. Well, he's actually not like he has a really good pension, and then he gets like Medicaid, the senior one. But he just is totally disinterested in maybe helping us find a home or.
And when you say us, is this you and your sibling?
And my sibling, correct.
So you are now the full-time caretaker?
Not yet, but I'm just kind of like preparing, I guess. I don't know.
You kind of know this is coming because no one else cares as much as you do.
I think so. Maybe that's it.
All right, Grace. So I recently ended up with a whole bunch of stuff going on at the same time. Like a bunch of house stuff, a bunch of kid stuff, like setting up stuff with my wife, like attorney stuff, work stuff. Like it all was just chaotic. And it wasn't literally, I was walking through an airport and I said to myself, why don't you take your own advice, John? And I was like, that sounds like a good idea. And usually it's not a good idea, but this time it was. And here's what I did. I just sat down and I pulled out a yellow pad that I had in my backpack and I started writing down what I know to be true and the things I don't know about and then the things I know to be untrue. 3 different columns. Because I can hear it in you. You have a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of I think so, and a lot of suppositions. And now you're starting to worry about imaginary futures that haven't even happened yet, aren't confirmed yet. You just don't know. Is that fair?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So the path through this chaos that you happen to be in right now, you're trying to solve problems that may or may not even be problems yet. And that helps you avoid the actual problems. So for instance, you're already doing math problems in your head about how you are going to pay and support your special needs brother. Why? Because you're a freaking amazing sister. And you're avoiding the conversation sitting down with your dad saying, what is the status of your financial situation? Period. Are you not going to help your son or are you? You see what I'm saying?
No, but we have tried to we've literally cornered him. Like we've had to corner him.
Okay.
Like he did a DNR, but only because we had a family friend who we literally sat our dad in a corner and we were like, you need to get this done. Like, I don't know what to do in the event something happens. He refuses to outright talk about it.
Okay. So listen, every minute you bang your head against that wall, you're choosing misery at this point. Listen, it's going to be hard to hear. Your dad cashed out. He quit. He will not do the thing that he is supposed to do, which is to honor and take care of his kids and be honest about his upcoming passing away as he gets older and the realities of caring for a special needs kid. He is cashed out. He quit. So all the banging your head and hand wringing is you choosing to be miserable instead of, okay, what are we going to do now? And I know that sucks. I hate that for you.
Okay.
Where's your mom in this picture?
Sort of also checked out. I mean, she, it's kind of a complicated situation. So she has like sort of a trust set up for my sibling, and then a rental, like a rental property. But she's always like, oh, I think I'm going to sell it. I'm going to have to sell it if this and this happens, and you can't rely on it, which I never did. But her life insurance, she has to, the way that she explained it, she has to pass away before the age of 82 in order for it to cash out. So if she lives beyond 82, like, she gets, like, nothing.
How old is she now?
She is in her 60s.
Okay. So what is she doing now, between now and then, to actually build her own nest egg to where she's self-insured?
She doesn't like to talk about it either. So like you said, I feel like I'm just banging my head against the wall trying to get answers out of anybody.
You are.
Just trying to
so
get...
stop. Does your brother have Social Security?
No.
How come? Have y'all filed for that yet?
That was never set up either.
Okay, then I want you to take responsibility for that. Do you have custody of him?
No.
Okay. I want you to pursue that with your parents. Let your parents know I'm going to pursue custody with my sibling. Well, let me ask you this: is he does he need custody?
No, it's more like a. I don't want to get like too specific, but
Sure.
It's like a learning disorder.
Okay. So does he have a job? Can he live by himself?
No, no.
Okay.
But you think he's eligible for SSI at this point?
Correct.
Okay.
Then go sit down make a phone call or 2 phone calls and sit down, whether it's an attorney or whether it's a Social Security office. Attorney's going to be a faster route, but it's going to cost money, and they're going to explain things better because they're not a government agency, and you can walk through and get the path. What's my path forward here? And we can go down that road. And if you do this independent, then there's no chance that mom and dad can come up and take some of that money, which happens with some regularity. And then you have to be honest, not by your hand, but in your lap. You have to be honest about the situation you have found yourself. And it's heartbreaking. I would hug you if you were sitting here and you said it was okay.
Thanks.
Because you're a sister who sees her special needs brother, and you're going to be taking care of her, and both of your parents have cashed out. And it sounds like they even have the means financially, and they are choosing to walk away. And so you have to live in that picture. So what's that going to mean for how you earn and how you save, and how your dream of a huge house might be a dream of an apartment, and like all those things are going to change, and you're going to have to live in that reality.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to still come to grips with that too.
I know.
So.
It's heartbreaking.
How are you doing financially?
I think this is just so stressful that I am trying to find an outlet in other ways, just like drawing and I'm doing a couple other things. But I've managed to save roughly like $4,000 in my money market account.
Amazing.
And
do you have any debt?
Yeah, I have between a student loan and I have a year left on my car, roughly like $28,000.
What's your income?
$45,000.
I would sell that car.
Yeah, so Grace, here's what we're going to do.
You need freedom and space and margin right now.
I'm going to hook you up with a few things. We're going to send you Financial Peace University, and I want you to go through those classes, online classes. I'm also going to set you up with a free financial coaching session with one of our financial coaches, and I'm going to pay for it. And I'm going to send you Building a Non-Anxious Life. And I want you to read that book and begin to craft your world around it. You need, like George said, you need margin and you need peace. You got to stop banging your head against the wall. We'll be right back.
Statistics show that half of Americans don't have enough life insurance, or they don't have any at all. I don't understand this, John. Why don't people want to take care of their family? They think they're going to die or something?
Well, I used to be one of those guys, I didn't even think about it. And one of my buddies said, hey, the only reason to not have life insurance is if you hate your wife and kids. And I immediately went and got term life insurance.
That's a gut punch.
And, you're telling me, and for decades, Dave, I've sat across people who've lost a spouse. They've lost somebody important to them.
Me too.
And they don't know what to do next.
Me
right?
too. I mean, you're going to have a crisis here. And, you got two options while you're sitting and talking to a young widow. She's concerned about how she's going to invest all this money properly and not mess this up, or she's concerned how she's going to eat tomorrow.
That's exactly
These are the
right.
two options.
And
take care of your dadgum family, man.
Term life insurance can replace income, pay off debts, cover funeral expenses, so your family can actually have the opportunity to just be sad.
Yeah.
To just miss you.
That's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's saying I love you to your family. Term life insurance. Jeff Zander and the team at Zander Insurance makes it easy and affordable. I've used them personally for 25 years. They're the only people I trust. Go to Zander.com or call 800-356-4282.
What up, what up? We are back. I'm John Delony, joined by George Kamel, and we're taking your calls on your money and your work and your life and your relationships. 888-825-5225. GK, so here's what sells in America. End of times. Here's what sells in America. Blood, guts, it's all coming down, right?
To be fair, that's the more exciting version than everything's fine, nothing to see here.
Correct. So,
what movie would you rather watch?
That's true. That's it. That's right. And since our news is now movies, it's entertainment. It's not actual information anymore. Everybody's walking around. Everybody I talk to, everybody I meet is walking around just waiting for the earth to swallow them up. If the flat earth doesn't fold and smush them in the process, right? Or Bigfoot doesn't come out. So, we have this, James, the producer, during the break, brought us this quiz. And this is a quiz about how many Americans are wrong about key economic trends. All right, so if you're listening to this...
We're going to let everyone take the quiz.
Take the quiz.
Here we go.
Question number 1. Is the U.S. in a recession, yes or no?
And this is not a feeling. This is actually, is it based on the definition of a recession?
Number 2, how has the S&P 500 index, the stock market, performed in 2024? Stocks are up, the market is down, the market is flat. It's unchanged. How does the current, number 3, how does the current unemployment rate compare with prior periods? The unemployment rate is now near a 50-year low. The unemployment rate is near a 50-year high. The unemployment rate still hasn't recovered from the pandemic. And the last question, is inflation increasing or decreasing? Here's the answer to these questions. Number 1, George, you give us the answers. Is the U.S. in a recession?
The correct answer is no.
But George, I feel like it is.
Well, about 56% of those polled said that we are currently experiencing a recession. So it's based on just, I guess, their feelings about what a recession is.
As the GDP has been growing, says the article, fueled partly by strong consumer spending at rates that have exceeded economist expectations, the U.S. economy is not in a recession. That's math. How has the S&P 500 index performed in 2024? Stocks are up. The stock market is just coming down, or it's unchanged.
Correct answer is A. It is up for the year. It has climbed 11%. And yet about half of people polled said the stock market is down. Again, based on, I guess, feelings and headlines and seeing red triangles pointing down.
Right. And their Facebook account that has the one guy in the trunk of his car like, I know what's really going on out there, America.
Or it's the guy being like, you need to buy gold, sell all your stocks, it's coming crashing.
It's all going down.
Yeah. Nope, stock market is up. In fact, the S&P 500, which represents the overall stock market, has hit multiple record highs already in 2024.
You wash your mouth out with soap, George Kamel.
Makes you
That's not
think.
true. It's all coming down. All right. Number 3, how does the current unemployment rate compare with prior periods?
Correct answer, it's at a near 50-year low, which, if you're confused, that's a good thing. The jobless rate stood at 3.9% in April, which was a near 50-year low, and yet about half of those polled said it's near 50-year high. Again, who are they polling?
The other
People
half of
watching the
whatever
news?
aisle. Right, exactly. Yes, news watchers. Last question, is inflation increasing or decreasing? Very truthful. Inflation's been gnarly the last few years. It's been tough. It's been tough all across the board here, right? Is inflation rising, falling, or staying static?
Correct answer is B. It is falling. And in fact, it's been declining since reaching a peak of 9.1 in June of 22. Most recent CPI reading, inflation was at 3.4%.
So about 7 in 10 responded believe 70% of people think inflation is still rising.
So here's the confusing part. The rate at which prices are changing is falling. So that doesn't necessarily mean that prices are going to be coming down. It just means they're not moving higher at the rate they were.
Okay. So things are still getting more expensive.
It's a good delineation.
Things are still getting more expensive, but instead of going to every time you go to the supermarket, like every week, milk's going up a quarter every time. Now it's only going up a dime.
Yes, that's the concept there. So
Gotcha.
Nothing to freak out about.
Well, here's the one. Let me ask one freak out question. The question about consumer spending. Where's that money coming from? Are we borrowing that? So are we kind of
100%.
duct taping over a recession?
That's my big economic theory. Everyone's like, we need to stop inflation. The Fed keeps messing this up. I'm like, you all keep messing this up, America. The Fed's like, hey, can we get everyone to stop spending? Let's increase the interest rates. And people go, nah, I'll buy a $60,000 truck at 13% APR. It's fine. So we've just gotten so used to spending with other people's money that we just go, we'll worry about this. This is a problem for future John.
This is a problem for future George.
So we keep spending at record rates, even though credit card debt is at an all-time high of $1.1+ trillion with 22% APR average. It hurts my brain that we have not slowed down because we're so addicted to spending and borrowing other people's money.
And it's as though the Fed has been trying to crash that. Stop spending. And we're like, nope. And they're like, all right, we're going to raise the rates. And we're like, hold my beer. I'll spend more. And they're like, we're going to raise them even higher. We'll still keep going.
And America's like, I'll take the challenge. See how much debt we can get into, baby.
I accept Fed.
Oh, my goodness.
And it looks like the Fed now is like, whatever, dude.
Well, thanks for some good news there, John. It's not as bad.
I don't know if it's
as
good
it
news.
Well, the bad news is people are relying on feelings instead of just facts about what's going on, and they're letting the news direct their emotions and their spending versus looking at facts going, you know what? How's my house doing?
That's the question. If I could tell anybody one thing, ask how is your house doing? How's your marriage doing? How's your kids doing? How are your finances doing? If everybody would go home and look in the mirror and ask that question and begin to solve that problem, ta-da!
It's amazing how many people think the world's political problems are theirs to solve, and yet the stuff going on in their house, like, well, I can't fix my marriage, John.
Yeah.
I can't get out of debt.
I can't clean my house until my neighbor cleans up their yard.
But let me tell you my geopolitical opinions on Facebook, because I think this is going to be the take that solves all of this.
Jeez. All right, let's go out to Dallas, Texas, and talk to the mighty Paul. Hey, Paul, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
We're figuring out life, dude. What's up?
I feel that. So I just finished my first year of college.
Woo!
I'm fully dependent on my parents, live at home, don't have a car payment, don't have a car, don't have insurance, anything like that. As far as debt's concerned, I got 2 FAFSA loans for $5.5 each, pay for college, and then $2,700 for my parents with no interest, as long as I pay it back after I graduate. I'm working 22 and a half hours a week at $20 an hour, and I have an internship for 14 to 21 hours a week unpaid. This is going to be my first time now after this semester. Money really felt real after signing off the check for college, and so I decided I wanted to make a budget, and this is going to be my first time doing that. So given the position I'm in, I need about $3,000 to $4,000 per semester for this upcoming year. What percentage should I be putting into saving versus spending versus investing at this point in my life?
At this point in your life, you would be where we call baby step 2. Do you have $1,000 in the bank?
No, I have about $600 right now.
Okay.
And I get about $1,300 a month.
Rewind. You're in baby step 1. You're trying to save up $1,000. Can you do that next paycheck?
Yeah.
Good. That will then put you in baby step 2 where you pay off all of your consumer debt. So the key right now as a college student is to stop the bleeding, not go into any more debt, and end up graduating completely debt-free with money in the bank, which means, Paul, you didn't hear anything about investing in there or anything about saving. And so the key right now is to stop the bleeding. I don't want you investing 15% and being like, yeah, I funded an IRA while you continue to rack up debt at 6% interest.
Right.
So do you, you hear what George said? Don't save past $1,000 because you're already 11, 12 in the hole.
Right.
You have a negative net
You're going
worth.
backwards. And by the way, some of that money is owed to the government, and some of that's to your mommy and daddy. Those are two entities I do not want to owe money to.
Yeah.
As you create your budget, all of the margin needs to go to paying off debt and funding the next semester. And if you need to fund the next semester, I'd rather you not go into any more debt before you pay any off.
And that also means you might have to take a break from school because you can't afford it. Not saying you have to, but pay cash. Pay cash.
You make $1,800 a month. Let's put that to good use while you have no bills.
This is The Ramsey Show.
You know, it doesn't take a degree in statistics to realize that this one stinks. 93% of undergraduate private student loans are co-signed. So when you're delinquent and drowning in private student loan debt, mom or dad or Uncle Joe is stuck in that financial stress along with you. But there is a way out. Why Refi? Why Refi offers a custom refinancing option with a fixed rate loan based on your ability to pay. And the average interest rate Why Refi offers is 3.9%, which can significantly reduce your monthly payment and decrease your total cost. Why Refi refinances your defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch. And I trust them to help you get out of debt. So don't be another statistic in the student loan swamp. Contact Why Refi at 844-2-RAMSEY or go to whyrefi.com/Ramsey. That's 844-2-RAMSEY or the letter Y, then REFY.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm John Delony, joined by George Kamel. George, there are two amazing people out in the audience out there.
That's true. And I claim them. They are my parents, Max and May Kamel. You've heard about them, and they're visiting mostly to see their grandbaby, which is fair, but it's an honor to have them up front. My mom is a faithful watcher on the big screen, and she tells me, she'll text me and go, you need to smile more. I'm like, Mom, I'm taking a sad call. I don't. It looks weird if I smile, but I love them dearly. I owe my whole life to them, both literally and figuratively, with who I am today.
Literally.
So, shout out to the parents for sitting around for 3 hours and watching your son do this.
Who's more critical, me or your mom?
Definitely my mom doesn't hurt my feelings as much. You are more hurtful. I will say that.
There's no comparison, James. You are infinitely harder on my psyche than my mom is. But George, your mom is beautiful. Your dad is devastatingly handsome.
Oh, thank you. I get all my good looks from them.
That's fantastic. Hey, if you're listening to the show, or you're listening to that last segment we did about the state of the economy, and you're just frustrated because everybody seems to be acting the fool, You can help by doing something as simple as subscribing, leaving a 5-star review, sharing the show with a friend. It just kicks the show up into the algorithms, doesn't cost you any money, takes 10 seconds, and it puts the show in front of more people so that more people can go, yeah, you know what? I'm going to take control of my house. I'm going to stop complaining about my neighborhood and about some government people who could care less about me. They absolutely don't care about me. They care about their own power and their own drama. I'm going to start taking control of my house. And the more that we can kick this show up in the different algorithms, the better off we're all going to be. So subscribe, leave a review, share it with a friend, all the internet-y things, and just know we're super grateful for you. Let's roll out to Nicole and go to Little Rock, Arkansas. Hey, Nicole.
Hi, happy Friday.
And also with you.
Thank you. I am 27, and my best friend and I just started planning a trip last night to see our friends in Seattle. And the trip will be around $1,000. But while we were planning last night, she casually dropped in that she has $8,000 in credit card debt. And I'm having trouble because I don't want to insert myself into her finances. But also I think going on this trip would be enabling her descent into debt, and my immediate reaction is to cancel the trip and maybe fly our friend down instead. But my question is, should I sit her down and tell her that I don't think the trip is a good idea, or should I stay out of it and keep planning with this trip?
Whew. I have an instant gut response. George, what do you think?
My gut is we can't control people, and you're attempting to do that by canceling the trip. I assume she's not going to go by herself, right?
Maybe not. I don't know.
But we can also maybe assume she's going to go spend this money elsewhere and go into debt, and we also can't control that. So do I think you're a bad person if you go on this trip and you do it debt-free and you live your life? No. How she chooses to live her life and how she chooses to pay is her business. You're not dragging her on this vacation, right?
Right.
I'm very similar. Here's my thoughts on it. If you have a moral conviction about this trip, for instance, when we get there, we're going to go find a bunch of elderly folks and steal from them, or we're gonna go get hammered and then do a bunch of drugs, and I don't want to participate in that, right? If you have a moral conviction, I do not associate with people who borrow money. I don't go to dinners where people are putting money on dinner on credit card. I don't participate. Then cool. I really would be wary about walking around being the moral police with everybody. I have tons of friends. I'm the only friend in my little gang that doesn't use credit card points, no matter how. And they make fun of me for my arguments, or they say actually arguments are pretty good, but I'm still going to do it anyway. I am one of just a few friends that writes a check. I mean, that drives old cars and writes a check for them, right? Until they invite me into that conversation, then I just don't answer questions that I'm not asked. If you feel like I'm watching my friend drown, then I think you have an obligation to say, hey, you just said you have $8,000 in debt. Is this a smart trip for you? I'm not judging. I just want to make sure you're okay because I love you. Maybe that's the question. But I think you have to ask yourself, am I a person who never associates with somebody who borrows money? You're not going to have a lot of friends, but you can roll that way if you wish. You get to pick your own values. They just always come with a cost. Or are you trying to be this person's mother, right? What do you think it is?
I'm not sure.
What would your friend's reaction be? Let's say you addressed it in the most polite, sweet, friendly way possible without condemning or shaming. What do you think her reaction would be?
I think she would be embarrassed. I think she knows.
She would get defensive, I'm guessing.
At the end, yeah.
Which is going to cause a rift in your relationship with her, and it's going to make things awkward. It's going to make the trip awkward if you still go, because she's going to know in the back of her mind that you're judging everything she swipes that card for on that trip. And for that reason, right. I don't think this is going to be a fun trip.
Yeah. Or the other side of it is you sit down and you say, all right, here's the deal. I love you. I had a great last couple of months. You owe $8,000. I'm willing. We don't have to. I'm all excited to go on this trip. I'm willing to fly our friend down here. No one will ever know. We're going to fly him down. You and I are going to fly her down, and we're going to do the party here. I just want you to know that option is on the table in case she feels quietly pressured to do this.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And by the way, if this is a friend that can't hear that conversation, this is going to be a miserable trip anyway, because this friend and you are not that close. Like the other day, Will, he's a sound engineer in here. We went to dinner. He showed up with a ton of drugs. And I was like, Will, like, that's a lot of drugs. And he was like, you're right. And so he just halved his drug intake for the night. I'm just kidding. Will's like the greatest guy ever. He doesn't do drugs. But you see what I'm saying? Like, a true friend can hear one of their other friends being concerned about him.
And they can tell the difference between love and criticism.
And they can tell the difference between love and judgment. And that's what I want you to be careful. You're not better than your friend. You don't have any debt. See the difference?
Right.
Okay, we threw a lot at you. What are you going to do? Now I'm kind of invested in this, like an episode
People
of the
want
OC.
to know.
Yeah.
Where are they now?
No, I'm going to sit on this, but I think...
Get her on a three-way call. Let's go.
Let's call her. You're going to call her right now? Let's call her.
That would be so
right.
cool. I
was just playing. Do we have the ability to do that?
Yeah, we could do that.
All right. So...
Does she know she's going to be on air? I'd be so nervous. I was like, you put me on the Ramsey Show without telling me?
Right now, I like to do this in person, like
That's
to
fair.
her face.
That's
but
fair.
I think it's a good idea to say, I just want to like give you this option because I know now that you are in $8,000 in credit card debt. I don't know if I'll like actually say I know that you're in $8,000.
Well, just say, hey, I know this trip is expensive. It's costing me $1,000. That feels like a lot on top of, I know like you want to get out of this credit card debt. This is not going to help. What if we did the trip here and we flew our friend down?
Yeah.
And you just kind of posit it as a hypothetical, a question instead of a statement. That might help.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
All right. Well, hey, best of luck to you. Everybody listening out there, when you join the baby steps path, or when you decide to start healing your marriage, or you decide to start losing weight, start an exercise program, whatever thing you got going on in your life, it's real easy to begin to look around and start judging folks and to start throwing grenades at people. Like, I can't believe it. Man, that's an exhausting, unhelpful way to live. But when you walk into a room, George, or you walk into your office, you walk into the mall, you walk into wherever, and you're just judging everybody, they don't know you're doing it. You're just choosing to have a more miserable day. And on the other side, if you have some firm values and you love and care about somebody and you see a truck coming right at them, you have an obligation to push them out of the way. And if this is one of those situations where I, in good conscience, can't let you dig a deeper hole to run around and be silly on a vacation together, let's figure out another path. I think that your friend, the person you love, is worth that conversation.
I found that I never increase my judgment and also increase my joy. The two cannot coexist.
You should tweet that.
That's a good tweet. If I use Twitter, I would, John.
Yeah.
But thank you. But this is a hard conversation. It's not easy, and it's a great reminder for those that do follow the baby steps. Tread lightly. I don't talk about money with my friends unless they want to ask me.
That's right.
That's it. And I talk about this stuff all day long.
That's right. Well, hey, thanks, America. We will be right back. This is The Ramsey Show.
Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Live from Ramsey Network, this is The Ramsey Show. I'm John Delony, joined by George Kamel. We are taking your calls on money, relationships, mental health, emotional health, your work, whatever you got going on. We have some ideas or some opinions, and some of them are better than others. If you want to be on the show, give me a buzz at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Let's roll out to Chicago and talk to Chris. Hey, Chris, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Nothing much, man. What are you up to?
Was hoping you guys could help solve a little hot button debate in my house. My wife and I have been working.
Yes.
My wife and I have been working the baby steps for about the past year, and we're just about done. So her mother gifted her was been offering to pay off her student loan for the past couple years. We are about to pay off our last credit card, and I'm wondering if we should also pay off her student loan or let her mother keep paying it.
Has her mom paid it yet?
No, she's been making payments, some smaller, some larger.
Pay it off right now.
No.
Pay it off.
Yeah. Okay.
You have the money to do it?
Not exactly, but we've been throwing pretty large chunks at our debt for a while, so it wouldn't take us more than like an extra month.
Okay, so 1 month from now, you've cleared your own debt versus mom pitching in. What was the agreement with mom pitching in? Was this just like a gift? She said, hey, I'd love to help you guys out. This is a gift. Don't worry about it. What was the spirit of it?
Yeah, I think it was a gift. It was a gift before we were married. And then after we got married and started working the baby steps, she kind of was like, oh, we'll let my mom pay it. And we kept working at ours. But as we've gotten further into it, I just kind of feel like it's in her name. We should just take care of it and be done with it.
Yes. And there's going to be some drama in your house, I can tell by this question.
Yeah, why is it a hot button issue? What does your wife want to do?
Chris, tell me if I'm wrong, George, because it's mom made a commitment that may be harder to keep, or she wants to do it at her pace, and when they go knock it out, they're basically saying, we don't want your money, we don't need your money, and that can often leave people feeling untethered. They're like, what purpose do I have, or what role do I have, or, oh, you're just going to go do it over my head, that kind of thing. Am I right, Chris?
Yeah, my wife doesn't want to take away the gift. She doesn't want to take away that charity her mom's given us.
What is left? What is the amount that her mom would have paid?
We have like $4,300 some odd on it.
Okay, and she was making a payment plus a little bit.
Yeah, like $200. She gave us $500 this month, but I mean we've been chucking so much at debt that we're almost clear and free now, so it'd be pretty easy for us.
I'm trying to figure out a way where you both win. You guys pay this off now, you save a bunch in interest, and you talk to mom and say, hey, thank you so much. Like you were an integral part of us becoming debt free. Thank you for this beautiful gift. If you still want to continue and give the rest, we have other financial goals. Here's other ways you can do it. Maybe
put it
it's
to
a trip.
$529 for a future grandbaby.
Yeah, or hey,
awesome.
I'm gonna cover a vacation to celebrate you guys becoming debt free. It doesn't have to be this like wire transfer transactional thing. It can be a celebratory fun thing. It can be a legacy thing where, hey, fund the $529 for the kids. That's plenty gift, or don't worry about it. And I don't know her personality, and she may not take it well, but that's not on you, how she reacts.
But the way George has teed this up, Chris, I think he's right on. Sit down and say, because you were so generous with us, it allowed us to accelerate through all this other stuff, and we ended up way ahead of where we thought we were going to be at this time, and we were able to knock it all out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I think letting her know none of this happens without you on the front end.
And you leave the ball in her court to decide what's next.
That's right. Then she gets to pick what's next.
She gets to choose her version of generosity.
I love that. All right, let's roll out to Josh in San Juan, Puerto Rico. What's up, Josh?
Hello. Hi, yes.
What's up, man?
Okay, so I'm 35. I don't have any debt, and I'm looking at buying my first house out here in Puerto Rico. I just moved here on Monday for tax purposes. And the house that I'm looking at, I really like it. It's $675. So I'm just kind of wondering if I should basically put a large down on it, which is pretty much my entire savings, or if maybe the house is a little bit out of my budget. I'm not sure.
Now, when you put this down payment, let's say you left 3 months of expenses for your emergency fund, and the rest you put down. Would the mortgage payment then be 25% of your take-home pay?
It would be more than 25%.
Then the home's out of your budget.
Yeah,
and this has nothing to do with what you have in savings or not. You just need to either adjust your expectations, find a cheaper home, or you rent, you continue to save until you can make that work, where it's 25% of your take-home pay on a 15-year. Otherwise, you're biting off more than you can chew.
Got it. There is a VA, so I do have access to a VA home loan, which might be better.
Not a blessing,
but I think you're right.
Here's why.
Yeah.
the VA loan is just going to allow you to put less down, which means more mortgage, which will still give you a massive payment. So while it lets you get into this house, it's still going to be a curse because it's going to be 50, 60% of your take-home pay. And all of a sudden, this wonderful life you had tried to build in Puerto Rico is now kind of a nightmare because you're now just working to pay the bills again.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, you're totally right. I kind of knew it was a little bit too much, but I just really liked the house. So I was kind of like...
I bet it's a beautiful house.
Yeah.
But right now, you might just need to go, I got to get a condo that's $350,000.
Or just rent.
Or just rent for a year.
Yeah.
But do not deplete your whole savings.
Like, Josh, you are you from Puerto Rico?
I'm from Florida. I'm from the Tampa area, but I just moved out here because I have an online company, and I can essentially avoid taxes if I have a permanent residence here, and I moved my entity out here.
Okay. You're moving there for freedom, though, right?
Yes.
All right. I want you to practice that for a year. Rent a house.
Okay.
Because you've made this big, huge move. You clearly have watched a ton of Instagram reels about dudes like moving their businesses. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I want you to actually live it. Because many of us here in the States, I don't mind paying the taxes that I pay for my roads and police officers and I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it gets bananas, then yeah, we'll have to. Let me say it this way: I don't like it, and I don't know that anybody loves it. But I prefer living where I live more than the savings I would have to not pay them. Does that make sense? And so, you have a good idea. It's going to save you some money, but it's going to cost you a lot too. And so, just play it slow, man. And if you love Puerto Rico, if that's your style, if that's your move, you don't miss your family, you don't miss your friends, you don't miss any of the mainland drama, well, good for you, man. Then save up and buy a house.
What's your income, Josh?
So it can fluctuate depending on how business is doing, but yearly take home after taxes, it's anywhere from $200 on the low end. It can be $300. It could be $300 or so.
Incredible. Which tells me if you can live on way less than you make and shove away 75% of your take-home pay, you're going to have an amazing house in no time with that amazing income. So this is just a patience game. You're 35. You're doing amazingly well. And everyone is jealous listening right now. But just move slow. Don't bite off more than you can chew. And never do anything for tax purposes. That shouldn't be your one strategy. That might be a byproduct because of your choice, but I don't let that steer my decisions.
And everybody, when you move to a new town, you move to a new territory, wherever you're going, it never hurts to rent. You get the lay of the land, and then you figure out where you want to live, how you want to live, and then you go from there. We'll be right back. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz here to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And Step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. With no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. Find out more at chministries.org/budget.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm John Delony, joined by George Kamel, taking your calls on money and life. 888-825-5225. Let's go out to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and talk to Alexis. Hey, Alexis, what's up?
Hey, how are y'all?
We're so good. How are you?
I'm good. So I had a question about some random credit hit on my husband's credit. So we were at a truck dealership about to finance him a truck. And they came back and basically declined it and said that there had been...
Alexis, you're breaking up. Speak directly in your phone.
There you go. Okay, so the last we heard...
Okay?
So you were about to finance a truck. They declined it because of something on his credit report. Continue.
Yes. So basically, he's never financed anything. He's never had a credit card, anything. We never got a phone call, a letter in the mail, an email, nothing about $600 he owes. That's on his credit. So I was curious, like, could that be his...
Could it be what now?
Could it be a scam?
It not a scam, but it could be fraud. Either it's inaccurate and it's just a clerical error, or there was some fraud where someone used his name, his social security number, what have you, to create a credit account and racked up $600 and never paid it.
But and Alexis, I haven't tried to finance anything other than a house for ages. And so I may be off here, but I remember coming out of college, one of my roommates, we all shared a house, was supposed to make the final payments on like a phone bill or on a cable bill or something, and that ended up on my credit, and it kept getting brought up for years. But here's the catch. Or maybe it was like we had a cable box. Remember those back in the day? Or we didn't return the cable box and the cord, so they billed us for whatever. So it could be any number of things, but here's the bigger issue. It never prohibited me from being stupid with money and getting a credit card or buying financing a car. There's something else going on for $600.
Okay.
Have y'all pulled your credit report on your own and looked at it?
We have not.
Okay.
We were kind of just trying to...
Well, your first step is to get actual reports. So you can go to annualcreditreport.com and you can pull them for free from all three credit bureaus. So get all three, take a look at them, make sure there's no errors. If there are any errors, you need to contact the bureau and dispute the error. And say, hey, this is fake, whatever it is. Then you can place a fraud alert. You can freeze your credit. I've frozen all of mine because I've had identity theft happen to me where it was a similar situation. I pulled it. I went, what are these charges? And I got a debt collector calling me for debts I don't owe. And so there was actual fraud in that situation.
I mean, you said I could borrow that money, George.
It was $1,700, John.
Yeah, you didn't say I had to pay it back, but...
So that's one thing I would do is just get all the reports, then contact them if there's any errors, but also figure out what company this is, get in touch with them, and see if he ever had an account with them. Like John said, it could have been legit, and it's just something he didn't realize existed. But honestly, my favorite thing about this is I think this was the Lord saying, don't finance a giant truck.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a way for this not to happen.
It's kind of like you called a marriage show, and you're like, all right, so I was trying to cheat on my husband, and the restaurant wouldn't let me pay for the food. Like, don't finance a car. Alexis, it's the Ramsey Show. We're never going to tell you to finance a truck or a car. Go spend $5,000 of your own money and buy a piece of junk. Your husband will live, I promise. George and I are both still living and breathing, and our wives still love us. And we're only recently buying cars that can go more than 20 miles at a time. And even George's, I have had to push it before.
That is a legitimate story for another day.
That's right. Let's go out to Greenville, South Carolina, and talk to Laura. Hey, Laura, what's up?
Hey, how you doing today?
We are rocking on to the break of dawn. Laura, what's up?
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I'm calling. I'm 25 years old. I live in Greenville, South Carolina. And about last year, I got into a really bad wreck, was in the hospital for a few days. Long story short, I'm finally getting some settlement money. And I just want to be financially responsible with that amount of money that I'm receiving. And so just trying to figure out what I should invest in, what should I do.
Laura, we are cheering you on.
Thank you.
You got hurt bad and you came back from it, didn't you?
I did. I sure did.
How are you today? Are you back to 100%?
Yes, I'm great, doing well.
Working full-time?
So, part-time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you in school?
Mm-hmm. No, I graduated a few years ago.
What are you doing for work?
College. So I work part-time as a server, and then I have a small business on the side.
Is it a hobby or is it a business?
It's a business. I've been in business for about 4 years now.
How much do you make on that business?
And I would say, depending on the year, anywhere between like $20,000 to $30,000.
Okay.
It's a small e-commerce business.
Okay. Well, tell us about your financial situation. How much is the settlement, and how much debt do you have?
So right now, the settlement is $20,700.
Okay.
And I'm $14,200 in debt, which is a car loan. And that's the only debt that I have.
Good.
I just finished paying my medical debt this morning, so that's a plus.
Wonderful. Okay, so you're going to pay off this car loan immediately, which is going to leave you with $6,000, and we're going to call that part of your 3 to 6 month emergency fund. So you will not be doing any investing with this money, but what it will do is set you up with this incredible financial foundation so that, number one, you never go into debt again, and number two, you can start building for the future instead of paying for the past.
Correct, and that's exactly what I want to do.
So with your future income, you get the settlement money, pay off the car loan immediately, put the rest in a high-yield savings account, and then begin to add to it until you have 3 to 6 months of expenses. That might be $10,000 for you, $15,000.
Mm-hmm. My next question is, my bank is offering a high-yield savings account with 4.67%.
I'll tell you right now, you can do better. Now, the point of a savings account is not to make a bunch of money. The point is to keep it safe and keep it liquid. For my YouTube channel, we partner with a great online bank called Laurel Road, and right now their rates are 5.15%. So if you go to laurelroad.com/George, you can sign up for an account there. Great people. They're simple. They're not going to sell you a bunch of crappy products, and they'll take care of you. But the high-yield savings account is the place to store it. But again, don't even worry about the interest rate because that's going to fluctuate. It may go down as time goes on. The point is that you stack up this money and you don't touch it unless it's a true emergency.
And here, Laura, I want you to hear what George is saying because it's important.
All right.
This money is not to make you rich. You're going to have people in your life, they're like, you got $20,000. You're going to have TikTok knuckleheads, Instagram knuckleheads, all telling you, you should be passive income. And this money, this $6,000 is going to protect you when you get a flat tire. And you don't have to go backwards. When your electric bill ends up being $150 more this summer than you were expecting. And it will be annoying. You won't have to go put money on a credit card that you don't have.
Right.
And you called. Can I challenge you on something?
Sure, go ahead.
I think you're worth more than $30,000 a year.
I believe that too.
I think it's time to have a hard conversation with somebody in your local area about your e-commerce business, and maybe that stays on the side. But I sure would love, the world needs you because you're smart and you're thoughtful and you have overcome that. You're obviously got grit. The world needs you out there serving your community in whatever that looks like, right? As a salesperson, as like working at a restaurant, whatever it is. But man, let's be done with this part-time server gig. Let's go get...
what if you're making 60, 70 grand plus the 30 from your side business? Now we can really build some wealth and accomplish some goals.
That would be outstanding. I would love to see you earning 50, 60 grand by this time next year, plus keeping your $30,000 side hustle. And now you're going to not only have $20,000, you are going to change your family tree. This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be right back.
Your home is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. And with the real estate market like it is now, you'll need a mortgage company you can trust. That's Churchill Mortgage. You guys, buying a home is not a button push. It's a process. It takes building a relationship with an expert who will dig into the details and give you peace of mind without busting your budget. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country. And they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Go to churchillmortgage.com to get started.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm John Delony, joined by my good friend George Kamel. Let's roll out to, actually, you're on the camera. So we have a call coming in, and I was like, I don't know the answer to this question.
Phone a friend.
Know a guy who does. So we phoned a friend.
That's what this is?
You are too young for that reference, Google that, phone a friend.
Yeah.
And
that's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
You're showing your
age.
age.
Friend Kid Coleman.
It's a great show. Thank you, guys. I'm happy to be here. I was at my desk taking care of very menial tasks, and I got the bat phone signal from James, the fearless leader, and he said, can you join us? I said, you don't have to ask me twice to hang out with George and Dr. John.
This is as close as I get to being on SportsCenter, so thank you, Ken. It feels really good to be amongst you.
All right, let's go out to Louisville, Kentucky, and talk to Aaron. What's up, Aaron?
Oh, not much. How are y'all doing?
We are doing great. How about you, brother?
I'm doing all right.
All right, so what's up, man?
So I'm 21 years old. I am 12.6 in debt with credit cards, a personal loan, and a car payment. And I work a full-time job, well, more than a full-time job, about 65 to 70 hours a week most weeks. Pay is really irregular. So it just depends on when the job gets done, what I get paid, percentage of that anyway. But I'm trying to figure out a way with my schedule how I can find ways to bring in more money. Because right now, my prediction for being out of debt is March of 26, and I don't like how far out that is.
All right, well, let's start with, what are you doing now at 65 to 70 hours a week?
I do flooring for a living, so trades, I install like hardwoods, tiles, carpet, vinyl plank, flooring.
And I know your pay is intermittent, and I understand how that works. You get paid when the job gets done. Do you have an idea what you're making per hour? Do you have any kind of an equation there?
Well, I'm estimated to make about $50,000 this year, if everything goes well.
Okay, well, you're working way too many hours to be making $50,000 in a trade. What do you do in the floor? Are you actually laying it, measuring it? What's your role?
Yes, I'm installing the flooring.
Yeah. How many more trade jobs could you pick up? Forget how realistic it is in this moment, but what could you do? What other things are you qualified to do right now?
I mean, I've done framing a little bit in the past, as far as building houses, a little bit of concrete work, but not too much.
Okay. Well, the framing alone. So I had a guy on my show, guys, recently. He's got a big YouTube channel. He's a carpenter, and he teaches people how to do carpentry on YouTube. He's got a very, very large following. I had him on my show to talk about a video that he put out that went viral, and it was that there is this huge need for carpenters right now. Like there's not enough carpenters. So the reason I bring this up, Aaron, is because you should be making. And I don't know what the market is in Louisville. You could probably tell me. Is it anywhere between 30 to 40 an hour for a good carpenter?
I don't know, honestly. I'm about an hour and something away from Louisville, technically.
All right, well, it doesn't matter. But so here's my point. Right now, you're working 65 to 70 hours a week, and you're not bringing enough income. I want George to jump in on the...
I crunched the numbers, and I hate to break it to you. You're making about 13 to 15 an hour, which is the equivalent of someone working full-time 40 hours a week, making 30 grand, 25 or 30 grand a year.
Yeah.
That's not okay with your skill set.
No, because concrete work, carpentry work, you should be, and I could be wrong, but you should be in the $25 per hour on the low end. And so my point here is, Aaron, this is about you saying, I have more options than I think I have. And the way you find those options is you've got to start talking to people all the time. When you're in the car on the way to this gig, you're calling people. When you're on your way home, you're calling people, and you're letting everybody and anybody know. You've got friends who have a Facebook page, or if you've got a Facebook, you're saying, listen, I can do work. And pretty soon we've got to replace the 65 to 70 hours that you're working for way below market value, as George has pointed out.
And Aaron, I got a guy, he's 21, and he's a handyman now, and he quit everything else he was doing, and he charges $50 to $90 per hour, and he's fully booked because you can't find reliable handymen who do good work these days.
That's exactly right.
So you could do that in your neighborhood and double your income tomorrow.
Here's an option I had at my last job. I mean, in my last state where I lived back in Texas. a guy would just put his stuff up at church, and he was a handyman like that. And he would say, I will be at your house November 1st. I will work until all the jobs you need are done. And it would be everything from move a plug, hang a fan, fix this flooring. I need you to put carpet in the back. It was everything. And he could do it all. And he would stay at your house for 10 days, 11 days, and he would charge you $50 to $90 an hour.
Yeah.
And then he'd move on to the next gig. But you see what we're saying, Aaron? So you're hearing this. We're telling you, you're worth more than you're getting paid right now. And there's probably a ton of opportunity, with, of course, some downside, but a ton of opportunity if you go out on your own. What are you feeling as we're telling you all this stuff?
Trying to think of ways I can pull some side jobs and
we're telling you need to replace your full-time core income.
Yeah. You got to replace your big kid job.
The solution is not more side jobs and more hours.
Yeah.
It's less hours doing work
Otherwise,
that pays
go
more.
Dude, go work 60 hours a week at McDonald's because they're paying $20 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't handle doing fast food.
I know.
So,
but
Aaron,
you're breaking your elbows and your knees and your neck and your back.
John, I feel
for $13 an hour.
I feel something on Aaron. I don't know if you're feeling the same thing.
Go it.
Aaron, I just don't think that you can go get this work. I think you think the best thing you got going for you right now, or maybe you feel limited by something else in your life right now to where you go, I feel stuck in this flooring job. Is that right? I don't mind being wrong.
Oh, no, it's a great job.
No,
it's not. All the things I've done, it's the one I enjoy doing the most.
Yeah, but it sucks.
Getting the pay for the hours is the hard part.
That's it.
But Aaron, the job sucks. You're making $13 an hour. That's not a good job.
You like the work. That's awesome.
Yeah,
but
thrilled.
there's somebody else that will pay you way more for that work.
I agree. Are you in a really small area where you feel your options are limited?
Yeah, way out in the
knew
country.
What's holding you to
there
that
was
area?
Something.
What's stopping you from moving closer
my
to the
church.
city?
Your
My
church?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Your church?
Yeah, what's that mean?
My church is way out in the middle of the county. It's
Okay.
about an hour and some change from the cities, and so I like being closer to my church for any kind of ministry.
How
I
often?
participate in the ministry, so I like being there. And
Love that. Okay, real quick, because we only have a couple minutes. We gotta lock in on something. How many times a week are you at that church doing ministry besides going to church on Sundays?
Sundays, Wednesdays, Thursday nights, jail ministry, and then Tuesday nights we have a young people's ministry.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm a pastor's son. So if you don't like what I'm about to say, I don't know what else to tell you, but I'm a pastor's son and I live that life. Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night visitation. That was my whole stinking life. You can do that when you're no longer broke, but you can't do that right now. Now, you need to decide. And I don't know how you're doing all that, working 65 to 70 hours a week. That's a recipe, Doc, for a breakdown, isn't it?
Yeah, you're burning the candle at every end, aren't you, Aaron?
Just about.
It should not take you 2 years to pay off
I get
$12
that from
grand.
my friends that I work way too much.
Well, you've got too much going on, period.
Yeah. And you're broke.
You've probably heard this before, but if you fly on an airplane, they tell you, in the case of an emergency, when the oxygen masks drop out, as a parent, do not put your oxygen mask on your kid first. Put it on you first, so that you have air and you can take care of the people around you that you're obligated to take care of. Right now, you're trying to take care of your boss for some reason. You're trying to take care of your entire church community, which is honorable. The person being left out of this equation is you.
Yeah.
And if you go back to Scripture, Jesus was always pulling away. He was tired. He said, I don't even where to lay my head. He was always pulling away to spend some time.
Yeah.
Right?
Aaron, I think you need to drive a little further to go to church, be a little closer to some great work opportunities where you're making close to double what you're making right now. You have a great skill set, my friend. And George, 12.6, he could pay that off in it.
I want to see that gone in 6 months, not 2 years.
You know what I love, guys? I love trades guys, tradesmen and women who love it. He loves this.
I love that.
He just got to find somebody who will pay him what he's worth.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the Ramsey Show. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, here's a quick math refresher. There are only 24 hours in a day. So you and your team need to streamline time-consuming tasks to focus on the activities that actually make money. Smart businesses are realizing that to reduce headaches as they scale, they need NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one platform. With NetSuite, you reduce IT costs because NetSuite is cloud-based. You cut the cost of maintaining multiple systems because you've got one source of truth. And you improve efficiency by bringing all your major business processes into one platform, slashing manual tasks and errors. So join the 37,000 plus companies, including Ramsey Solutions, that have done the math and are boosting their efficiency with NetSuite. And right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to drive the right behaviors for your business absolutely free at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey to get your free KPI checklist.
What up, what up, what up? This is John with the Ramsey Show. I'm joined by George Kamel, and we've got a couple of work questions that have come in. Career questions, questions about purpose and what in the world am I doing? So we phoned a friend, and we went over to where our offices are, and we asked the great and mighty Ken Coleman if he would join us, and he has joined us. And so we're going to roll out and take another question about work with our brother Justin here down the street in Nashville, Tennessee. What up, Justin?
Hello. How are you today?
Outstanding, brother. What's up?
Awesome. Well, I tell you what, I just kind of wanted to tell you a little about myself. So I'm 38 from right here in Nashville. I was employed with a company that did online marketing and SEO for 8.5 years is the kind of time I spent with them. But I was recently let go or fired this Wednesday.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And I have a 4-year degree in communications, bachelor's. I have $21,000 set aside in savings for a little rainy fund. I also have a mutual fund with Fidelity Investments, but it's only worth about $4,000. I'm single without kids. I'm debt free. And currently I have no health insurance, so that sucks. But I need to bounce back and would like to earn a living soon at a job where, I have the potential to work my way up and earn at least $100K a year. I know that sounds like a dream right now, but, I was actually just kind of like some kind of entry level to, work my way up a ladder in the tech field like that. And I know initially that's, kind of unreal, but I would like the opportunity to climb the ladder. So, the company I did just work for merged recently, so that's not really a good sign. But I was making about $42K a year, and that's not a lot at all.
What were you doing?
SEO.
Online marketing.
Online marketing?
SEO. Yeah.
Okay. And did I hear you say you want to get on a path to technology?
Yes, that would be nice.
What specifically?
Well, I tell you, if it's funny. I've been thinking about it here recently, and there's a company named Oracle that's kind of like headquartering here now in Nashville. I know everybody wants
small little startup. Yeah.
It's like there's this little body of land. They call it America. It's like the Oracle's.
Yeah.
What, got 100,000 employees or something like that?
Yeah. They're moving their headquarters to Nashville.
Yeah.
But specifically, are you thinking about programming, cybersecurity? What interests you?
Well, I tell you, what I was just doing with search engine optimization is interesting to me. But also, I would like to, learn programming as well. Okay. And, whatever I could do to, how do I put this? I guess have a steady income there.
Sure.
Be useful to the organization. and have an ability to work my way up. But I want to know, just, currently speaking, in my current condition, kind of what you would really recommend here.
Okay, so I would think of the short term first, because getting qualified to do that kind of technical work, I've got an answer for you there, and I think we got a great resource for you. But let's look at short term. What I would tell you, and I know George and John will agree here, is we would like you to not have to dip into that $21,000 emergency fund. Because you're single, and so we don't have a wife or kids that are relying on you, that makes us a little easier. And so I also am a guy that believes in bouncing back pretty quickly and just bringing income in the door right now. I would recommend that, because it keeps you from sitting around the house kind of going, this is what happened to me, and what am I going to do next? And we're going to give you some steps on that. But short term, John, I hope that's not bad advice. I'd like to see him just get anything, even if it's Uber or it's jumping in at a Walmart, $20 an hour.
That's exactly right.
To stay active, and also, quite frankly, let's not dip into that $21,000 unless we absolutely have to. So, Justin, that's the first thing. Does that make sense?
There's often a rumor, if you will. It just kind of makes its way into the mythology, Ken, but that if you just go get another regular old job, that somehow that will hurt your ability to get a job down the road. And like a job's beneath you, or why did you have to go throw boxes at Walmart, or why did you go do X, Y, and Z? And I need you to know, as a guy who's hired a bunch of people, that would put you at the top of my list, because you would be a guy that I know would push through a lot of stuff, who would go get the job done, who wasn't scared of hard work. No job was beneath you. Like, you see what I'm saying? It would send a message to me about your character and who you actually are. Yeah.
Were you laid off as a result of the merger, or was just fired for discipline or anything else? Because John brings up a good point about what our narrative is going to be as we move forward. What happened?
Okay, well, determination, what I wanted to know is it really killing my chances moving ahead? But, I got to tell you here. So it was basically related to, this is the messaging they told me. They told me I'm not fitting in with how everybody else is fitting in at the moment in the merger. And, maybe it has something to do with a performance deal or something, but that was never communicated to me.
All right, so Justin, so let me jump in here. All right, to John's point, you tell everybody else what they told you, and that is we have a merger, and you were laid off because there's just too many things.
You didn't fit
jobs.
into that new plan.
Big deal. To John's point, nobody cares, because the answer is it was a corporate layoff. I was a victim of a corporate merger. In fact, I'd say something just like that, because nobody even wants to dig into that. It's
so
kind of one of those
boring.
things.
They're just like,
oh, okay, a corporate merger, you got laid off.
Yeah.
You're a victim.
My
of
company got bought, and
every day.
That's right.
And Justin, you are massively underpaid. I just looked up, and even here at Ramsey Solutions, we're hiring for a digital marketing specialist, and the range is from 56 to 83.
Ooh.
And even outside of there in Nashville, 50 to 60 is what I'm seeing for the range for an entry-level digital marketing specialist. So you got 8 years of experience. You're clearly good at what you do. I would go, like Ken said, do the side jobs for now until you can find a full-time SEO spot, and then get the tech skills and eventually move into that realm.
So, Justin, we're going to recommend that you call Bethel Tech. All right? You got something to write with?
Yes.
Bethel Tech, BethelTech.net. Now, let me just tell you one testimony, okay? First of all, I'll give you a reference and then a testimony. So, Ramsey Solutions hires Bethel Tech to train people in our organization to move from non-tech jobs into tech jobs. So that's about as strong of an endorsement as you can get from the big man himself, Dave Ramsey, who doesn't cut checks lightly. Now a real story. Okay, we had a guy that we found out about that was listening to my show. He was a school teacher making about $46,000 a year. He took Bethel Tech's program. Justin, it's a 9-month program. It's less than $15,000 for Ramsey Show and Ken Coleman listeners, anybody associated with our network. Okay, 9-month online program. He got placed in a job because they do job placement as well, and he was placed before he finished the 9-month program, making $74,000 a year. And we just got an update that he's in line for a promotion 2 months from now, where he'll make over 6 figures. And this is in programming. They also do cybersecurity, UX, UI, the whole 9 yards. So I want you to at least call them and say, I talked to Ken and John and George on the Ramsey Show, and they sent me to you guys. Kick the tires. They'll tell you everything, and you can actually afford that because you got the money set aside. And I'd rather you spend the money investing in yourself than living off that money. George?
I'm with that. And I think even for now, he needs to be getting paid more. And then the long-term trajectory of your career, jumping into tech, you're going to go to six figures and higher very quickly.
Yeah. All right, Justin, I want to leave you with one thing, okay?
Okay.
You gave your heart and soul to this company for almost a decade, and they just looked you in the eye and cut you, didn't they?
Yes.
That hurts, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
All right. Don't blow by that. Okay?
Okay.
Grief is right. I hate they did that to you. You gave everything you had, and they lied to you on the way out the door. They didn't even if it was a performance issue, they didn't tell you the truth. They were cowards about it. If you've had issues fitting in over the last few years, they were cowards about it. Nobody sat you down and loved you enough to be honest with you. And they just cut you loose. And you've been working hard for them, haven't you?
Yes.
All right, here's the temptation. The temptation is to go into the next job and only go halfway. Do not do that. You're not that kind of person. You're a person of character and integrity. If you have an old colleague that you could call and say, hey, what really happened? Will you be honest with me? Maybe you've got that. But I want you to sit and be sad about it, and then we're going to go get a job tomorrow, and we're going to head north. I'm proud of you, my brother. Hey, that's it for this hour of The Ramsey Show. We'll be back soon. Don't go away.
Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
What up, what up? This is John, joined by my good friend George Kamel, and this is the Ramsey Show, talking to you about your money and your life and your relationships and whatever you got going on. And this show is for you, and it's about you. If you want to be on, give us a buzz, 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. We are taking your calls right now, and we're going to, tell you what we think, George.
That's about all we can do at the end of the day.
And it didn't cost you anything. What else are you doing? Let's go out to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and talk to the great and wonderful Julie. Hey, Julie, what's up?
Hey, there's a couple of things that are up in the air. So
we got you.
A little background. I'm a widow, and I have 3 young daughters. And I have been blessed to find an amazing man that is getting ready to be added into our family as my husband, and also an amazing father figure to my girls. See,
Excellent.
the thing that is, yes, so there's been many blessings that come out of it. However, the homes that we have, his home and my home, they're in different states, very close to each other, but they just do not suit our family's needs. I have been debt-free since 2015. I own rental properties. They're all cash flowing, debt-free, and so is my home. He still has a mortgage, and the home is valued at $375,000, and he currently owes $123K on it. Because neither of the homes work for our new family situation, he would like to, because we're getting to that age where we definitely know how to do everything from the roof to the foundation and everything in between, but we're getting tired. And he says we don't want something that we have to fix on all the time because we do have the rental properties. So he had started listening to some Dave Ramsey things because I'm trying to foster that into our marriage so that we can be financially successful together. But he said, well, Dave doesn't say that it's a bad thing to have a mortgage. And I said, it's not a bad thing to have a mortgage, but if we did some remodeling to this house here that is debt-free, which would cost about $80,000, we would be debt-free. And with the income that we have coming in annually, we're making on average, he's commission based. And obviously I have tenants that come and go for whatever reason. So we're pulling about $216K a year.
So, Julie, this conversation is not about a mortgage at all.
Okay.
And you know that, right? Here's the conversation. I won't be silly and coy. We don't have 5 hours to unpack it.
Right.
This isn't about Dave Ramsey, and this isn't about a partridge in a pear tree. This is about you sitting down and saying, we're about to be married, and we need to be on the same page about this.
Yeah.
I can't breathe if I owe somebody money. And life happens because it happened to me.
Yes.
I don't want to bring any debt into this marriage.
Yeah.
And that's the conversation you got to have.
Okay.
And then everything next solves to create a life of debt freedom. Every decision. And that might mean, well, he's going to sell his place. I'm going to sell a rental property so that we can buy this new place in cash. There's going to be hard decisions on every side, but you guys have to be aligned on that.
How old are your daughters?
Yes. So they are 11, 9, and 8, and all about to age up in a month or two.
Okay. So I was going to say, if they were 18, 15, and 17, you can get through a couple of years, but you still got another 10 years of...
I still got a lot of raising to do,
Yeah, you got another decade left. So, yeah, you'll need to get a place that works for your family. Julie, I love... y'all are super blessed financially. You have been very wise and stewarded your money well. He's not... I mean, he's got $250,000 in equity in his place, so nobody's starving here, right?
We're not. And would it be wise to, sell my home and sell his home and find something in that budget range? But when I look at that, most of the homes that are within inside of that range, just because we are right now in the real estate world, are still things that need fixing, whether it be windows or an HVAC system or, you know what I mean? They're light repairs.
So let's play it out where you don't keep, you're not playing Monopoly. We don't need to keep 17 properties to win the game. So let's say he sold his place. He has $250 in equity. You sold your place. What is it worth?
$318.
Okay. So let's call it 300. That's $550. Do you have any money saved outside of the emergency fund? Either of you?
We do. Those have drastically went down because he's been out of work since November, and I recently had a family member that passed from cancer. So our emergency fund currently right now is collectively $13,000.
Why has he not worked since November?
He had an amputation.
Okay. But
thank God he does have insurance that's carrying him through that. So that was... But
he's dwindling down his emergency fund.
Yes.
You just said y'all make $216 together.
Yes, he's been off since November. He's still hired through that company. It's just he's been off... with that injury.
But they're still paying him?
Yes.
Full salary or what?
No, it's through his, he has a policy.
Like a disability?
Policy that has kicked in.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he's not able to work like DoorDash or any of that stuff because then those benefits would go away. And so
when will he go back to work full time?
We are hoping he had to have a revisit of the surgery. So what the doctors are telling us is it could be 8 to 10 weeks.
So is the remodel making the house ADA accessible?
Mine is. This is not. His has steps, and that was another reason that I just didn't feel that his home was suitable for us because God forbid if something happened again due to diabetes, because it could.
Yep.
Could you sell your least favorite rental property on top of selling these two and then pay cash for the next one?
I could. And that's what I wanted to see. Is that a smart thing to do to give up those assets that are completely debt-free and cash rolling? Or
it's smarter than borrowing money.
Which is going to add anxiety to your life. And it's one less thing to fool with and hassle with. And if you want more real estate later, save up and pay cash. You got no mortgage payment.
Yeah, that's what I did.
You make over $200,000. So
here's what
I'm not scared about that scenario.
Yeah, here's what I do know. How long ago did your first husband pass away?
He passed away. It's been 5 years now.
5 years. Okay. Yeah. How long have you been together with this guy?
We're coming up on 2.
2 years. Okay. However you think you've got it drawn up, you have some, when they pronounce you Mr. and Mrs., You're going to enter into an angsty season.
That's why I don't want him to make any money moves until it's official. Because at the end of the day, my children, above all, that's my main scope.
Well, but listen, I don't want you to make any right after either. Okay. I want you to slow down, get married, figure it out for 6 months or a year. Then you'll really know what you can and can't live with. But I want y'all to have as much peace as possible with the knowns before you start buying a house and trying to move and do that and be married and blend a family and all of that stuff. It's just going to be messy. Go one step at a time.
And if y'all don't have term life in place, get it today. That's going to give you so much peace of mind.
This is the Ramsey Show. I'm John Delony, joined by George Kamel. All right, today's question of the day comes from Will in Nashville. He says, I love Smashing Pumpkins and Paul Reed Smith guitars. Is there something wrong with me?
I think there's only one answer to that, John.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, there's Will. He's the best guitarist I know, and I look up to him, and he's out there running the board. It's good to see you, William.
That's John trolling. The actual question comes from Adam in Manitoba. He said, my wife and I moved to Canada a year ago. We didn't pay rent for the first 6 months and bring home $7,000 a month. We made an agreement to separate our finances, and my responsibility was to save money for a new car. I didn't pay attention to my expenses and saved nothing. I lied to my wife about the amount I had saved and pretended everything was okay. After I started listening to your show, I've decided to tell her the truth. I feel like I've totally destroyed her trust in me and our future. How can I save my marriage and get trust back?
I usually tell people that your feelings don't tell you the truth. But in this case, Adam, your feelings are telling you the truth. You did destroy her trust in you and her trust in your future. 100% you did. George, this whole situation is a mess.
Well, it started with we made an agreement to separate our finances.
No, it started with we moved to Canada.
That's true. I wasn't going to go there. I love my friends in Canada.
I know, I do too.
Sweet people.
All right, so we moved to Canada, and we didn't pay rent for the first 6 months.
And they make $7,000 a month, and they said, all right, you do you, I do me. Here's my job. I'm going to save up for the new car. You go do this. And then he didn't do any of it, which is one reason we tell people to combine finances, because it creates trust and accountability and transparency and unity. You know, all the things that make a marriage great. But instead, he went, no, I got it. And then didn't, and then had a shame spiral, and then could not tell her the truth that he had $0 saved, which also begs the question, where the crap did that money go, Adam? What did you spend it on?
Yeah.
Because you're going to also have to tell her that part.
Yes.
And that might be the hardest part of all.
It's when you realize you've painted a wall with a lie, and you start wallpapering over that lie with other lies, and all of a sudden you are in a pretty thick padded room here with nowhere to go. Here's your path forward, Adam. You tell her we have to have a hard conversation, and I've made some huge mistakes, and I need to be honest with you. And then you take a pause, and she's going to want to say, tell me right now what happened. Say, this is not the time for that. We're going to meet in 30 minutes at a restaurant. We're going to meet in 30 minutes in a park in a neutral location, or somewhere in the living room where you don't normally have hard conversations. We need to change the environment for this one, because this is a before and after conversation. Your marriage, if it survives this, will be different. And George's question that he raised is key. If this happens to me after I get over the initial shock, I'm going to ask what happened to, $3,500 times 6 months. Where's that money? And is it in food? Is it in gambling? Is it in guitars? Is it, like, what is that money? Where is it? Can you get any of it back? Is it gone? All those questions, you better have answers for those as you sit there. And here's another key, George. Adam is never going to use the word you. Every word, every sentence is going to start with, I did this. Here's what I did. And if you had we're not going to do any of that. I lied to you. I've been deceiving you for months, and I'm coming clean because you deserve better. Here's what I have done, and I'm going to lay it out. And there is no path forward other than the path of honesty, or we're just going to make this thing bigger and bigger and bigger.
And how do you rebuild that trust? Well, it's going to take time. It takes a moment to destroy it, but then it takes this pattern of being trustworthy where you've proven, hey, you know what? I put $1,000 away. We've combined the bank accounts. You have full transparency. You have a vote. I have a vote. That's what's going to create that over time. But she has to see that you're actually never going to do this again.
So I often tell couples, George, when this situation happens, any sort of trust violation, the other person who you're asking, hey, I've hurt you and I've lied to you and I've violated your trust. I need you to trust me again. They get to dictate for a season the parameters for what trust rebuilding is going to look like.
If XYZ happens, then on the other side of this will be more trust. There'll be
I get
more
to
rope.
see your phone every day. Here it is. I want to track your phone. Here it is.
We're going to do an every dollar budget every day.
Every
and check
day.
in.
Here you go. Right? You will not carry a debit card for 60 days, like whatever. We're going to take the internet out of the house. If you're struggling with pornography, I don't care what it is. The other person gets to set what's going to make them feel safe. And then we're going to slowly work that thing back. And that's going to be tough.
Well, you and Rachel have been diving into this issue of money and marriage. They're inextricably tied, and we've got another event coming up this fall that, while there may be some heavy things that come out of that, it's a really, really fun weekend.
Yeah, it's the funnest weekend of the year. And here's the bad news is the fall Money and Marriage is sold out. In October, here in Nashville, it is sold out. The rad news is we added another Money and Marriage Retreat weekend, and this time we decided to hit it on the nose, and it's going to be Valentine's Day 2025.
Perfect.
We have rescued you, America, from having to think about what to get your spouse
Guys,
for Valentine's Day.
This is your ticket to freedom.
Come to Nashville. Money and Marriage is one of our most popular events. It's a weekend in Nashville. You and your spouse get away from life's madness, and you can focus on your marriage. 2.5 days, me and Rachel. We have expert teachings about communication, sex, strengthening your emotional connection, get on the same page with money, all the stuff that we don't talk about anymore in our culture.
We just get in a giant room and have fun and talk about it.
And to say we go there, it goes.
There's
everywhere.
stuff at this event that I'm like, I'm not sure I should be in the room. This is PG-13.
Yeah, George actually had to walk out. He felt uncomfortable. You get to ask me and Rachel real questions. If you come to Nashville and don't get your question answered, it's going to be because you didn't ask it. Lots of time for you to connect with me and Rachel. And George, I think you'll be there. Jade's there. Something like
you can't
we've got
stop
all
us
kind of
from being
people there, and it's Nashville, so you never know who's going to show up in some of the sessions. And we throw a pretty wild date night.
Our live events team puts on experiences that are way beyond the stage content. That's kind of the part you really remember.
Yeah.
It's like, remember we did that dance?
They threw a
It was
prom
like
last year.
But we're not as awkward as we used to be.
But
so
it was a
way
super...
cooler.
It was one of the most amazing under-the-sea proms in every cringe way possible, which made it so amazing. Tickets start at $699. Get yours while early bird pricing is still happening. It's insane.
That's per couple.
Yeah.
So not per ticket, per couple.
Per couple. That's right.
Great. That's
and
a
it's
steal.
half the price of other marriage retreats, so it's a good deal. And you can save up to $350 right now. If you want a VIP level ticket, they may be already sold out. If they haven't sold out, get them. Go right now, man, because they go so fast. February 13th through 15th, 2025. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events. Now, George, I have to ask you this question.
Uh-oh.
I saw you and Whitney snuck in last year at the back of the Money and Marriage, and y'all were taking feverish notes.
That is so true, John. I can't believe you saw us from all the way from the stage.
All the way from the stage. I was like, is that George and Whitney?
No, I did make the mistake of having my wife walk out with our baby because I thought this would be a great ending to my budgeting talk. And I forgot that babies can't hold up their heads. And so I tried to do the Lion King thing. So I took the baby from Whitney. I held the baby up and her head just went straight back. And
it was a collective gasp.
Yes, we're still recovering from that at the Kamel household.
I like how you gave a universal we there when it's your daughter that had the whiplash.
It's Whitney's. No, Whitney had nothing to do with this, but it really was a great time. I told Whitney, I was like, we just need to attend next year. Like, I'll probably be there speaking about something, but I want you to be there the whole time with me because the content is that rich and you really can't find it anywhere else.
I'll also say this. Last year, there was a surprise where my wife and Rachel Cruz's husband joined us on stage.
Incredible.
And it got off the rails. My wife was disclosing some things that I was not prepared for her to say publicly. And same with Winston. And I think they're scheduled to be back and then some. So it's going to be a fun.
I feel like this is just going to be a tell-all on Rachel and John.
Well, the thing is that Rachel and I are pretty open about what's going on anyway.
But then your spouses tell the truth.
My wife
really
was like, yeah, hold my beer. I'll tell you. She doesn't even drink. And she was like,
I feel like Sheila's entire existence is, actually, here's what actually happened. Yeah. Here's the other side of the story, John.
I remember talking about, like, that one time we had to decide, like, are we still going to stay married? And she was like, we've had that conversation like 5 times. And I was like, oh, okay, we're going to tell all of it now. That sounds cool. February 13th through 15th, 2025.
Budget for it, make plans, mark it on the calendar, and buy your tickets, dudes. She's going to love it.
This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm John Delony, joined by George Kamel.
Hey guys, selling a house the Ramsey way makes home ownership a blessing instead of a burden. We get a lot of calls about home ownership on the show. It can be stressful, and if you're not working with a pro, there's a good chance you're going to make a mistake. And that's why we have the Ramsey Trusted program. It's the only way to find an agent you can trust who can keep you on track with what we teach here at Ramsey and get the best offer on your house or find the right house for you, whether you're on the buying side or the selling side. So we'll send you some of the top agents in your area that we trust. Our team vets them. You can review their stats, interview them, and you decide which one you want to work with. These Ramsey Trusted agents have years of experience. They're pros. They don't do this part-time on the weekends. They didn't just get their license. They are go-getters. They're going to help you make wise decisions when it comes to pricing and marketing and making or choosing the right offer. So head to RamseySolutions.com/agent and you can find a Ramsey Trusted Real Estate agent for free. That's RamseySolutions.com/agent.
All right, let's go out to a Harvard bar in Boston, Massachusetts and talk to Kat. Hey, Kat, what's up?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing fantastic.
I'm sorry, Kat. You deserve better than that accent.
I have a question and a suggestion. Which would you like first?
Ooh, I think suggestion is just more intriguing right now.
I need to know the suggestion. What is it?
Okay, I keep hearing you advertise the marriage and money events, and I really think you should host a single and mingling event, maybe like an online speed
Hey,
dating.
we 100%. We're already
on age.
the ball's already rolling on that one, Kat.
Oh, really?
Do you want an invite?
Hey, listen, I give the producers permission to give my phone number out to, anyone in my age range. Like
I'm going to 100% assure you, Kat, you do not want that.
This week.
But how about this, Kat? Reach out to me.
There's a lot of meth and banjos out there, hon.
Reach out to me. I'll give you a free ticket to that event when and if we launch it. How's that?
Awesome. Thank you.
It's
I
on
appreciate
us.
that.
And it's going to end with an actual wedding. I will officiate your wedding at the end. And so if you find love over that 72 hours, you're going to leave with a connected budget.
And John said I can be the ring bearer and flower girl. So
correct.
That's kind of part of it.
It's going to be awesome. All right.
Awesome.
All right, Kat.
Okay. Very nitty-gritty logistical question. I get paid every other week, 26 paychecks a year. What do you advise for budgeting purposes? I keep starting and kind of getting stuck. Do I just figure 24 paychecks and have the extra 2 as slush? Do I do 26 divided by 12? And then my second question is for yearly things, like once a year I want to spend $1,000 on, family photo. Do I just put money, every month towards that.
For a family photo?
Yeah.
Is this like $300? What are we talking?
My family's not that good looking.
Oh, no. Pick anything. I don't know. $1,000 every 2 years for tech upgrades.
For a guitar. Gotcha. I heard guitar.
Now
That's
we're
what I
in
heard.
John's world.
Perfect. I approve that expenditure.
John has never gotten his family together all at once smiling. It's a very difficult thing to do with shoes on.
My wife is stunning and my kids are beautiful. I tend to ruin photos, so.
That's good. Well,
every year we get a photo taken and the photographer's like, you know what, I'm not even going to charge you for this one because your face, right? All right, so here we go, George.
Let's start with the irregular 26 paychecks versus 24 because this is a common conundrum people face that get paid bi-weekly, meaning if you get one every 2 weeks is different than if you get paid twice a month, as you know. So here's what you need to focus on. You're going to get at least 2 paychecks a month, right?
Right.
So focus on the upcoming 2-week period. So let's say you get paid on the 10th and the 24th. Well, that 24th check has to float you until the next check that comes in on the 6th. And so what you need to do in your budget is look at all of your expenses and when they're going to actually debit from your account and make sure that you have enough money. Now, Every Dollar makes this easy with their paycheck planning tool, so I'm going to gift you the premium version that has that feature. That's going to really help with that. But all you need to do is focus on an upcoming 2-week period to make sure that you can cover the remaining expenses until the next check. And like you mentioned, if you have 3 paychecks, look at the upcoming month's expenses, and whatever's left after covering those expenses, anything extra can go toward your next baby step goal.
Okay.
Now, if you can learn to just live off of the 2 checks a month, then the third one it feels like a bonus emotionally. And so learn to live on less than you make and throw that as a, quote, bonus toward your financial goal.
Sounds good.
And as far as the sinking funds you mentioned, hey, I got a $300 family photo thing coming up this fall. You can set up a sinking fund and move, we're going to move $30 a month for 10 months to pay for the $300 expense. Some people like to do it that way. Some people just know what's coming up and they adjust other expenses so they know, hey, I got to put away $300. If it's more than you can stomach out of a single paycheck, I would set up a sinking fund. That's going to make it easier for you and less stressful, and it's not going to throw you off when that expense comes.
All right, Kat.
That was Nerdville.
I heard you go, okay, and you lost
It wasn't
him.
not satisfactory to Kat.
No, it was great.
Where
Thank
did you lose
great.
him?
No, I'm on board. I just keep starting. I've tried not the premium version of that, but I've tried different apps and just.
You
keep
haven't
getting
tried
stuck.
Every Dollar?
I have, not the premium version. So
Okay.
thank you for that subscription.
Yes, your bank transactions will come in, so you can just drag them to the right category. The paycheck planning tool is going to really help you figure out, do you have a risk of overspending because you have too many bills that are hitting before the next paycheck. So hang on the line, and Kelly's going to pick up. We're going to gift you a year of Every Dollar Premium to help with that, and you call us back if we have any questions. And best of luck on your journey to finding a mate.
Man, you took that sideways, George. And Kat, one more thing. I think you know as well as we do, this is less about which category the money goes in and that extra check, and it's more you just have to bite the bullet and do this for 90 days, for 3 months. Just grit your teeth and budget for 90 days. And you're going to find it gets easier and easier as you walk that path. But if you keep getting on and then quitting and then, a thing came and I just quit, it's always going to feel like you're just getting jerked around.
That's true.
All right, let's roll out to Buffalo, New York. As a Houston Oilers fan, the Buffalo Bills ruined my childhood, but I'm glad to talk to Ryan. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, Dr. John. How you doing?
Good, man. What's up?
Well, I got a question. I'm 35. I just started the baby steps back in December. I've had the book for a long time, the Total Money Makeover, and found it. And so I'm, doing the baby steps and everything. And, so I'm going gazelle intense. I already paid off 3 debts I already had, and I'm on my last one, my car. And so I'm legally separated. I got legally separated last year from my wife. And I got a 3-year-old daughter. And I was just wondering, I'm a Christian, and I'm trying to, do the right thing. And I have a girlfriend who is also a Christian. We go to church together and everything. I'm trying to figure out, it's going to cost me another $2,000 to get the divorce done. I kind of feel like I'm living in sin a little bit. So trying to see if it's, I don't want to lose the gazelle intensity, by paying for this divorce. So I'm trying to see.
Bro, you're living in a fantasy world, dude. I'm a Christian too. Okay. Let's set that aside for a second. You're not dealing with reality. Your marriage is over. And did you pull the trigger or did she?
She did, but it was mutual. It was, it had mutual aspects to it. It's not. I'm not holding on to anything. Do you know what I mean?
You are, because you haven't spent the $2,000 to end this marriage, and you've already started dating somebody else.
Right.
So it's not a matter of like, I don't want to lose my gazelle intensity, bro. You are in the jaws of the lion right now.
Right.
Okay. And you knew that.
Yeah.
Whether it's $2,000 or $200, I think there's a lot of emotions and pain underneath this.
Yeah. What's the situation with your daughter?
We have custody half and half with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much money do you have in the bank?
Altogether liquid, probably. Well, I got $1,500 in my emergency fund. I got $1,400 set aside for doing the divorce. So I have money set aside for it. It's just
do it on Monday.
Pay the $2,000 and be done, and then move on with your last debt.
Be done,
and then be done.
And by the way, since this was mutual, no complaining, no whining. This is what you signed up for. For whatever reason, this is what you signed up for. See it all the way through. Do it the right way. Get the right paperwork, and then move on with your life. This is the Ramsey Show. Today's scripture of the day is Romans 12:9. Let love be genuine. Abhor what is evil and hold fast to what is good. The great Bob Marley says, spend life with who makes you happy, not who you have to impress. So I spend time with you, George. You make me happy.
3 hours a day. Keeps the doctor away.
I don't feel like I have to impress you. Because I can't.
Too bad, because I'm impressed.
Oh, ooh, I like that. That was a good one. All right, let's go out to the 512, Austin, Texas, and talk to Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer, what's up?
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks for calling. What's going on?
Okay, so I have a question that is a moral and a financial dilemma.
All right, bring it on.
Sorry, I'm already getting emotional.
Do me a huge favor. Take a humongous deep breath.
Okay.
And hold it for a count of 3, okay?
Okay.
1, 2. All right, let it out. Drop your shoulders all the way down.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
All right, same team.
I just found all of you guys about 3 weeks ago, so I'm so very grateful.
Yes, we're glad you're with us. We'll send you the Kool-Aid in the mail. You can drink it when you later on.
I will. I'm drinking all the Kool-Aid already.
Perfect.
Okay, so my question is regarding what my responsibility is to my mother.
Okay.
I'm 60. I used to have a lot of success in my life. I was debt-free for like 20 years, and then a lot of things happened, and my financial and health situation went downhill. So I'm just finished baby step 1. So I don't have the funds to help my mom out right now, and it's killing me. My parents never made any financial plans whatsoever. They spent every penny and more than they ever had. My dad died in 2020. My mom had a little bit of life insurance, but that's gone. She has $2,400 in Social Security every month, but she won't live in a, I'm going to change her words, but I'm going to say a dumpy apartment. So they have nothing. There's no home. There's no nothing. She just re-signed a lease on her apartment that went up to $2,000 a month. And she doesn't really seem to be too concerned about her financial situation. And I'm spending all day, every day, so anxious and to the point where I think I'm going to have a heart attack.
Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer.
Yes.
You are. Stop. Do me a favor. Take both of your hands. And I want you to clench them as tight as you can. Squeeze them real, real tight. Okay? Are you still squeezing them?
Yes.
Keep squeezing them. Now open them up. Whew. Listen to me carefully.
Okay.
I'm not going to hear any language about how you're not successful right now.
Okay.
Because you did pretty good financially, but success is way bigger than a stupid number. And when you grow up in a house of chaos, often we look for a number to validate that we have some value, because we should have got that from our mom and our dad and we didn't. And then whatever happened, you've been to hell and back, but whatever happened took that number away that you had outsourced your value to. And what I'm hearing on the phone right now is an absolute gangster of a 60-year-old who has scratched and clawed her way back. Right? Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're not hearing any more of this talk about I used to be successful. Nonsense. I know a lot of rich people that I wouldn't trade places with for anything.
And nobody talks to our friend Jennifer that way, by the way, especially Jennifer.
Yeah, especially Jennifer. All right, here is the fortunate and unfortunate predicament you find yourself in, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to say this in a really stark way because I don't have a ton of time, but my goal here is not to poke my finger in your wound. My goal here is to set you free, okay?
Jeez.
You don't have any money.
Right.
Ta-da! Any wish, any desire to help is a fantasy. Because you've been on your own since you were 9, right?
7.
7.
Emotionally, yeah.
That's right. And so you have no margin. You've got no room to move around. You're 60 years old, scratching and clawing your way back.
Yes.
I think what you feel, that sense of guilt, you've been carrying your mom's emotional regulation for her entire life and your entire life.
And my dad's.
And your dad's. And you see the train wreck financially, the math problem that's coming at your mom 100 miles an hour, and you're trying to solve this one too, and you can't. You've been doing it for 53 years. Can't solve this one. And the hardest thing in the
world.
Do what?
I don't know what to do, and I don't know what my biblical obligation is.
I mean, what can you do?
She's choosing to reject reality.
She's rejecting
and
you.
She doesn't care nearly as much as you do. And you know that. If someone else cares more than you do, you can't help them. Like, if John's morbidly obese and he wants to shove his face with pizzas, and I really want John to be healthy, I can't do anything to fix John. He has to want to fix John.
Right.
I can give him all the supplements in the world and all the workout programs, but if you did that for your mom, it wouldn't change a thing.
And it wouldn't. George would not have a faith-based moral obligation to hit me in the face every time I was going to. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can just keep going down the road with this metaphor, but your mom has looked at you. Listen, behavior is a language. Your mom has told you, I do not want your financial help. I don't need your financial help. I'm just fine. You do you. Boo. I added that part. Right?
It might get to the point where she goes, I can't pay my bills, and where she gets stressed out enough to where she decides to move out and find a cheaper apartment.
Or they kick her out.
Or she gets evicted because she stops paying rent. Because her rent is $2,000 a month and she makes $2,400 a month.
And so, Jennifer, here's where you can spend your energy wisely, okay?
Okay.
Worrying solves nothing.
I know.
So listen,
I know it.
Every time you worry, hold on. I know it's easy to say. I've been there too. I'm a chief ruminator. I'm pretty good at it. I carry something in my bag. It's right here under the desk. And I carry it with me 24/7, 365. And I do this for a living, okay? When I start spinning out, I quickly write down what I'm worried about. And then I make a quick list of what I can control and what I can't. And often the things I can't control, they break my heart. And I spend time being sad for a minute. Okay? And then I get after the things I can't control. Here's what you can control. You know there will come a day when your mom has to move in with you. You know that's coming.
No, okay.
Or hold on. Or you know right now, my mom's never moving in with me.
Way worse off than I am right now. So
Okay.
She has no boundaries.
There you go. Hold on. There you go.
It will kill me.
You're free. You're free. Okay?
I'm sorry.
Don't
I
be-
think I
hey.
have a lot of guilt about it.
I know you got guilt. Here's what grief is. Grief is the gap between what I really wanted to happen and what actually has happened.
Okay.
I'm just sad. You're sad. It's okay. You should be. It shouldn't be this way. And here we are. So I want you to make that list of the things you can control in this situation. You can be kind to your mom. When she starts talking about money, you can say, hey, Mom, I don't want to talk about money. You've made it really clear you don't want to have this conversation with me, and that's fine. You can go through Financial Peace University because George and I are going to send it to you as our gift. You can get your budget in order, and George and I are going to send you a year of the premium version of Every Dollar. You can read my book, Building a Non-Anxious Life, that I'm going to send you for free to give you a roadmap to peace. And you can read George's book, Breaking Free from Broke. So at 60, this never happens again. Okay? We're going to give you some resources, and we're going to take care of you. And you call us any time. But by all accounts, faith-based, morally, psychologically, emotionally, you're a great daughter, and you are free. Take care of you. This is The Ramsey Show.